All right, so today we're doing something a little different. We're not here to talk about whether a certain blood sugar product actually works. Nope. We're going to talk about how its sales pitch is designed to work on you. We're going to pull back the curtain, deconstruct the anatomy of an online sales page, and really break down the exact blueprint they use to persuade you.
You've definitely seen these pages before, right? Those really long websites that tell a big emotional story about some amazing new supplement? But have you ever stopped to think about how that page is actually built? How every single piece of it, from the headline to the buy button, is put there for a reason?
Well, that's exactly what we're about to do. We are going to dissect the marketing techniques for a real supplement, one called Gluco Extend, and we'll be using its own sales page as our guide. By the time we're done here, you won't just see a sales page anymore. You'll see the whole playbook behind it. The goal is to give you a new way of looking at things, a more critical eye, so you can navigate this stuff with a little more know-how. Okay, let's dive in. So, every single effective sales pitch kicks off by identifying a problem. And it can't be just any problem. It has to feel huge, like it affects everyone, but also really personal to you. The idea is to get you thinking, wow, this is a big deal and it affects me. So boom, the page hits us with this huge number right away, over 60%. Now that's not just some random statistic. It's what you'd call an anchor. It's meant to grab your attention immediately and show you just how massive this problem really is. And by calling it an epidemic that's affecting over 60% of the population, well, that creates a real sense of urgency, doesn't it? The message is that this isn't some tiny issue, it's a giant societal problem, and hey, you might just be part of it. This sets the perfect stage for a solution that feels desperately needed. So, once they've established that big, urgent problem, in comes the hero of the story. The product gets introduced not just as a solution, but as the solution, something totally new and groundbreaking. And here we have a classic move, superlative language. Phrases like this are designed to make you feel like everything else you've tried before is basically obsolete. The goal is to frame this product not just as something new, but as a complete revolution in a bottle. And then you get the exclusivity claim. By saying it's the only product in the world with this formula, they create this really powerful feeling of scarcity. The message is simple. You can't get this anywhere else. And that's a huge technique for building up its perceived value. Okay, so you've made these massive claims. Now you've got to show some kind of proof. So let's take a look at what's actually inside this unique blend, and more importantly, how they present it. Now, take a good look at this. Do you see the pattern? It's all about repetition. They list 6 different ingredients, and every single one has the exact same 3 benefits listed next to it. This visual pattern just hammers that core message home, making the benefits feel overwhelmingly supported by the formula, regardless of what each ingredient does on its own. And then, right alongside the ingredients, they give you this checklist of really reassuring qualities. You see words like natural, non-GMO, no stimulants. These are all designed to tackle common worries a consumer might have right up front. It makes the product seem safe, trustworthy, and super easy to fit into your life. All right, so they've laid out the problem, they've presented their unique solution, and they've shown us the proof in the ingredients. The next step, and it's a huge one, is building trust. Let's see how they do it by mixing personal stories with the power of big numbers. First up, you've got the relatable human story. A testimonial complete with a name, age, and location makes the results feel real and tangible. This isn't just boring data. It's an emotional connection. It's designed to make you think, hey, that could be me. But, one person's story isn't always enough. So right after that personal quote, they pivot hard to social proof with a massive, eye-popping number, 127,000. And that's the number of reviews. It's a really brilliant tactic. Honestly, they go from the emotional story of one person to the overwhelming proof of over 100,000 others. The message is crystal clear. That one person isn't a fluke. They're just one member of a huge, happy crowd. It's a super convincing 1-2 punch. Okay, so the problem's been set, the solution looks amazing, and trust has been established. Now it's time to close the deal. And the way they structure the offer itself is just a masterclass in psychological pricing and creating incentives. This right here is a classic example of what's called price anchoring. It's a psychological trick that plays on how our brains tend to rely on the first piece of information we see, the anchor. That $79 starter package becomes the anchor. So, when you see the $49 best value option next to it, it doesn't just look like a good deal, it looks like a fantastic one. Your attention is expertly guided to the bigger, more cost-effective package.
And just to sweeten the deal, they throw in these high-value bonuses, but only if you buy the larger packages. Then comes the real clincher, another bit of social proof. 97% of customers order 6 bottles. This not only tells you you're getting the best deal, but it also reassures you that you're making the popular choice, which is a powerful way to get rid of any last-minute hesitation. So after building up all this desire and urgency, the pitch has to knock down that final barrier, risk. Let's look at the safety net they offer, and then let's look at the fine print that comes along with it. So on one side, you've got this incredibly strong promise, an ironclad 180-day 100% money-back guarantee. I mean, that's designed to make you feel totally safe, removing all the financial risk. But then, on the other side, you've got the legally required disclaimer that the FDA has not evaluated any of these statements. It's a really interesting contrast between marketing confidence and regulatory reality.
And here it is, the real kicker. Maybe the most critical piece of fine print on the whole page. After this entire sales pitch suggesting the product supports healthy blood sugar, this disclaimer states, flat out, that it is not intended to treat, cure, or prevent any disease. This is the very careful tightrope that supplement marketing has to walk. So there you have it, the complete anatomy of a sales page. From creating an urgent problem to building trust with stories and numbers, and finally closing the deal with a structured offer and a safety net. The question is, now that you're armed with this playbook, what little details are you going to start noticing the next time a compelling ad like this one comes across your screen?